Hi, my name is Christina Alfisi, and I'm here to discuss Jean Bradley's psychoeducational evaluation report today. So thank you, Mom, for coming to discuss this with us so we could, go over what we have found and how we're going to further help her in the future to kind of support where she is needing the support. So first, the reason we had this report was because there were significant educational concerns in cognitive abilities, speech, language, motor, adaptive behavior. There is some social concerns as well. So we did some informal observations first. The teacher reports she has trouble following classroom routines without physical prompts, trouble focusing and completing assignments on time. Her strength is that she does like to select art materials during choice time, but she is noticing some difficulties with fine motor skills in those areas when manipulating the art supplies. When observations were taken for self-care and social adaptive behavior, it was noted that she does need some help with self-care tasks. She is able to put on her coat, but when buttoning or zipping happens, that is when she is starting to have some trouble. She also does not show much emotion when she is communicating with her peers, and we're trying to get her to show a more wide range of emotions. She usually keeps to herself, and it doesn't really initiate conversation with her peers. During the school observation and physical education, they noticed, she has slow and deliberate movements when running, so motor planning may be an issue there, and, takes challenges when, for instance, catching a ball. And when they do morning stretches, they are also noting motor planning issues as she is unable to follow the morning stretch routines during PE. She doesn't really have much interaction in PE with her peers, but she does seem to be comfortable with 2 female students in the class, which is based on her affect. So we did 5 formal assessments. We did the Universal Nonverbal Intelligence Test and the Woodcock-Johnson Test of Achievement, which both monitor cognitive abilities. And what those tests have found was that her memory quotient, the non-symbolic quotient, and her full-scale IQ subtest are delayed. I will provide a more thorough copy so you could see where those weaknesses lie. She was very delayed in the reasoning and symbolic quotient areas. As for her broad math, reading, and writing, it seemed that reading she scored low and very low in math and writing. So she has extreme difficulties in math and writing and, decent difficulties in reading. In the adaptive behavior assessment we gave her, it seems she is borderline having issues in daily living skills that relate to health and safety, socialization issues that relate to leisure activities, and daily living skills and self-care. However, she's extremely low in communication skills and socialization, communication, school living. In the wide range assessment of visual motor abilities, the spoken language assessment we gave her, it just shows an index of scores. It doesn't really give a description, but the average score is 100, and your daughter scored between 55 and 64. So we created, 2 goals to work on. We obviously created more, but let's go over the 2 goals for now. We created a reading goal that by the end of the school year with pencil and kindergarten line paper, Jean will copy 5 sight words from the first grade sight word list independently from a visual model with 80% accuracy across 2 consecutive weeks. And her daily living goal is by the end of the school year, when instructed by the teacher, Jean will follow classroom routines independently in 4 out of 5 trials across 2 consecutive weeks. The reason we're making these goals is she's obviously having difficulty in her reading levels as observed by her teachers, and has motor delays as observed by not only the teacher but by both the assessment as well. So I figured it would work on both. And for the daily living goal, the teachers discussed her inability to follow classroom routines, and the assessment showed that in her adaptive behavior assessment, the school living skills were extremely low. So we wanted to make sure we were going to support her in those areas. And the progress monitoring tools we will be using to see how she is progressing in these goals. So for reading, we're going to collect her classwork and create a portfolio so we could see across time if she's getting better. We're going to have recorded observations when the teacher, observes her, write down notes, and just write data collection on her accuracy levels when we go over her paperwork and see if she's meeting those accuracy levels on her objectives. As for the daily living, we'll do recorded observation notes, data collection on the accuracy levels of her ability to follow classroom routines, and a prompt collection sheet to examine the level of support she needed that day to follow the classroom routines, to see if that progression of support is getting better and more independent. And these tools are being recommended so that we can accurately assess her ability to progress, and if things are changing or if there's need for support. And that's why we write the notes. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know right now, and we could discuss anything else that you would like to do. Thank you so much for listening.